Hi, my name is Paul Thompson. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to take my Sideshow collectible, The Child, and turn it into an animatronic Grogu. Lots of people have tried to do this, and lots of people have done this. They've created 3D designs of Grogu. They have created animatronics based on those designs, or have done some version thereof. I don't believe anyone's ever tried to do it with the Sideshow collectible. In this particular case, I believe the Sideshow collectible has mostly been used for display purposes. It's pretty expensive, so some folks have cut up the display and posed it in a different way and created their own kind of unique pose to Grogu. But I don't think anyone's ever made this one move, and Sideshow did such a great job with this. The eyes are so realistic. The whole look is beautiful, and I thought, making it move would be really cool. My other motivation too was, this might be a really good idea for a cosplay. Like, you could include this with a Mandalorian cosplay. You could do this by sticking Grogu in a bag, or you could put him in have him wandering around following a Mandalorian around. I thought it'd be really interesting that you could do something like that. And on somewhat of a budget, if you will, for something that would look fairly realistic and look very, kind of show quality, if you will. My good friend William Miyamoto also created a animatronic Grogu. He took his, I think he used the Mattel toy to create his animatronic. It's another example of taking something that already exists and making it move and making it do something other than what it was intended to do. So definitely go check out his channel as well. It's called Miyamoto Productions. I'll leave a link in the description below, and then you can check out that one as well. He did a really fantastic job. All right, let's get on with this build. All right, to start things off, we're going to get rid of the base, get rid of the shifter knob from the Razor Crest. When I first purchased this figure, my plan was really just to display it. That's really what I was hoping to do. But then I kind of got this idea that I'd like to see it move. The cloak itself, very easy to open. It's very well made, and it is it's just really great construction. Actually, it has this neck piece that wraps around and disguises the seam line between the sculpture around the neck and the smooth plastic body. Super easy to come off. May distress that later on, and we're left with this freestanding figure in this pose. I have seen lots of people on YouTube cut up Grogu and to kind of make him do different poses and different things, but I really wanted this one to move. So I'm measuring the body, the arms, the height, everything, the width, the circumference, just so that I can get an idea of what the measurements for the mechanics will ultimately be. I'm using Tinkercad. Again, I use Tinkercad because I'm not that familiar with 3D modeling, but Tinkercad's been super helpful, super easy to use. I need to expand into Fusion 360. These shapes above my model represent the volume of the cloak, if you will. And so I just wanted to have a kind of a general idea of what the volume of that cloak would be, just to make sure everything fit within it. And then the actual model itself is made up of 4 parts. The first part is the base, if you will, the very, very bottom section of the model. It's green, and it's where I'm going to mount the servos. I'm not printing everything in here. I'm just using some servo parts to, kind of dictate where things are going to go. But the green part is the base. Then I have the upper part, which is going to be the main body. That's going to house the next section and where things are going to be moving. That tan section in the middle is the part that holds the servos that move the head and do the head tilt and things of that nature. It will also do a neck, the neck movement left and right.
And then the very top piece you see there, the light blue, that's going to be where the head attaches to the mechanics. Here is the obligatory 3D printer shot that shows you we actually printed all the parts. Now for the parts, the first up is the main body. The print quality is pretty low, as all of these prints will not be seen. They just need to be strong. I originally printed them all in PLA, and the final pieces or final iterations of the pieces were printed in ABS. So you have the main body and the base. The base has the drive servos. This is the servo holder that will operate the neck, turn the head, and tilt the head, side to side. This part will be the attachment part for the head, so the head will actually bolt right onto that. Actually, you'll see a further iteration later on in the video. And this is the left shoulder. There's a space for a servo so that the hand can move, and the other shoulder is more of a dummy shoulder. It does move, but it doesn't move the hand. I'm using the plastic disc wheel from Servo City with a hub designed to fit a servo. The hub is offset slightly to allow the body to shift left and right as it moves. I originally set both wheels up this way, but quickly realized I only needed one to be offset. Now on to our build montage of all of these parts going together. Won't bore you with all of the details. Most of this is sped up, so it shows you going together very, very quickly. Basically, 2 servos into the base, 2 wheels attached to the servos. Here's a piece of landing gear material that I had laying around as the back support. I also had this servo block laying around, and it, was measured so that it would fit inside of that center piece there. And this will allow for the head to turn right and left. So by rotating the piece that will be inside there, that's how that will work. And I just mounted an aluminum plate right on top of that. So servos up in the shoulders. Those servos are low profile servos, so they don't interfere with the neck movement, and they are pretty high torque. They are also very, very quiet. And then the base just mounts to the bottom of the body. This is the inner neck mechanism, if you will. These rods here will link to servos, and that center rod will act as a spine. There's a universal joint on the center rod as well. So you can see that center piece being attached to the aluminum plate, the spine attached to the top of the center piece. The shoulders are mounted to servo horns, and then the arm is built out of aluminum and a couple of additional 3D printed pieces. Here the servo is being mounted into the shoulder piece, and then this shoulder piece is mounted to a servo horn again. This piece right here will be mounted to the arm, or what will the hand of the statue. And then those pieces just mount directly onto the servos. And there you have most of the structural build. You can see how it fits up against Grogu, the actual statue, in terms of the height of the whole thing. My plan is to make the Grogu completely remote control. So I'm going to use a receiver, 10-channel receiver, and I'm going to use a breakout board that allows power to go directly to the servos and not through the receiver. Now for the unnerving part, the dismantling of the collectible. There are a bunch of screws in the back of Grogu that come out. Unfortunately, the arms and feet are kind of glued in there, and I did get the head out, but I would highly suggest cutting the back panel at the arms to kind of give you more room to get the head out. But, you know, or cut the hands off first, perhaps. Maybe that would be a better option. The arms are attached with screws. The head was trimmed and hogged out there, just some of the foam. Turns out that piece was round, not oblong like I had. So again, another iteration of the neck piece. So once that piece was, once the head was taken off, I was able to model that piece a little bit more accurately. I was guessing before. The head gets attached and I will wrap it up right there. This video is already getting too long and I will release the rest in a part 2 video. Thanks for watching, everybody.